So 5 things I wish I'd known sooner. When I was in this relationship with my partner who is autistic, I am non-autistic, neurodiverse relationship. Boy, if I would have known these things sooner. So these are just 5 simple things. Wait a minute, not simple. Sorry to say. It's hard to do, but in the long run, it will really save your nervous system. So let's get right to it. So number 1 is, I'll just say it. Don't correct, redirect. So what does that mean? Now, if you're in a heated discussion and you're gonna just keep saying, no, that's not correct, and you're back and forth, and he's just kind of done, or he's shut down. One thing I did, and this is kind of extreme, it was just a really tough situation with him. But for this one thing, to redirect, instead of saying, no, you're wrong, no, you need to do it this way, and correcting, he's already done. And you're just running your wheels. He's not hearing anything you have to say. To redirect can really shift the dynamic in a very drastic way. I just experienced it a couple days ago. I was crying. And I had these 3 points when we started our conversation. I started off with 3 definite points that I wanted to map out for whatever it was. And as I'm crying, because the first point just didn't go over well, I went to the second one and just read what I had down. And it was something that I knew he could handle, that I knew he could absorb a little better. It didn't feel like an attack or something major he had to do. It was basically just a simple task that he wanted done for a while. It was really pointing it towards something, completely redirecting the subject to something else. So that's what I did. It worked beautifully. Was it hard for me? It was, but the next day, things happened. It worked. So don't correct, redirect. In any type of really heated situation where he feels he's under attack, just, you can shift the subject. Change the subject. Let's come back to it because it's just not working out. And that's okay to do. And write it down. Come back to it another day. Make sure you come back to it because I'm sure it was extremely important. Mine definitely is, and we were able to come back to it. So number 2 is give it a minute. So the number 1 doesn't even work. Nothing's working. You just have to walk away. And that is one thing that's really hard for us to learn because in life situations and things that we need at that moment, you feel like there's no time to walk away. But it will do more harm than good if you keep going at it. So I remember following him around the house and just feeling so pathetic. It never ever works. It just never works. You have to give it a minute. I really encourage you to write these down because it's something you can go back to. It's something you can hang on your wall. And right before a conversation, right before you're going to sit down and talk, because usually it has to be planned. Right before you're going to sit down and talk, you look at those 5 things, these 5 things. So number 1 was don't correct, redirect. And number 2 is give it a minute. So number 3 is to call a friend. It is vitally important for you to have a friend who understands this, period. I mean, I've been trying to say this for so many years in the groups, in the Cassandra groups and all of this, that you have to have a hotline. You have to have somebody you can call that understands, that lives it, another Cassandra sister. Now, you can give me a call. Look up on my website, very low cost, and I always give it more time than it says. But, give me a call. Give sisters a call that understand. I'm going to start Zoom groups, and so you can find your sisters in those groups and find friends where you can talk to sisters who get it. Very important. So number 3, call a friend that gets it, a fellow Cassandra sister. Now, number 4, this is fun. I have a jar set aside for money, $20 a week, whatever you can afford. Put something in that gives you a respite. And a respite means money where you're done, you need respite. And you need to know when you need respite. You need to know when to take that time off so your nervous system can rest for a day or 2 days. Find an Airbnb. Find some place to go overnight alone without your partner or with your kids or your dogs or whatever. You have to, sometimes we can't leave, but even if you can't, have that jar. I just love having that jar there and having money in there. And it doesn't have to be a lot. I encourage you to have a little mason jar, put some money in it every week. And that money is specifically for respite. Right on the side of the jar, respite, Airbnb, getaway, a time to relax. Have it labeled that that's money for. And it's important. Honestly, it's more important than anything else. You need that time away to recharge because it's a tough relationship. Now, number 5. All right. I didn't even read my notes on this. Hold on a second. Okay, number 5. Be with, you're gonna laugh. Be with Dr. Jekyll and ignore Mr. Hyde. In groups, in Cassandra sisters I've talked with, we talk about the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where one day they'll just be Mr. Hyde and then the next day Dr. Jekyll, kind, reserved, nice. And then one day, I experienced it a few days ago. A few days ago was rough, by the way. Very much Mr. Hyde, like everything we had worked on was just down the drain. No, very negative, very toned, just, it's so shocking sometimes. And I remember even asking him, are you having a meltdown? And he just didn't say anything, because that just doesn't work. It was actually the first time I ever asked him that. Because meltdowns are hard to track sometimes, at least for me. Like, what is a meltdown exactly? And really what it is, for me, it's a shutdown. It could be something different. It could be just getting away. Sometimes our partners would just go away and you don't know where they're going. They just shut down completely. Where mine shuts down, but he gets very negative mind, very, very extreme negative mind than normal. And it's daunting. Sometimes it's baffling, it's daunting. It's just very, very alarming. And you take it in like it's truth because it's so harsh. So some of the things and the decisions and the self-sabotage that I feel he will do, or all that stuff, just almost this, just such a different personality than when he is calm. And so he was able to process whatever, do it. And all the things that he was negative about, the next day, the Dr. Jekyll just was, oh yeah, let's do that. And very agreeable and very, to a point. He's still rigid thinking and all that. It's amazing the difference. So what I mean by you want to date Dr. Jekyll. You want to be in love with Dr. Jekyll, of course. But to know Mr. Hyde's there and to, just kind of set him aside. And it comes back to all the others, 1 through 4, the waiting a minute, don't correct, redirect, all of that kind of comes into that same thing at this end where if they're having a meltdown, if you can spot that really negative mind where they're just really closed off, that it is a meltdown, and to just let it be. And I'm sorry, it's what you have to do. And I never want to tell Cassandra sisters to have to do anything, but it's more, it's for your peace that I always refer back to. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes you may yell and scream back. Always know that that's okay. Always know that if you're crying, really try hard not to beat up on yourself. try hard to say, you know what? I had a moment, I had to let it out. My body, I was in trauma, maybe a memory that was triggered by whatever he said. Whatever it is, just give yourself a hug. Don't feel bad for reacting negatively. Don't feel bad for saying the wrong thing. I guess that's number 6. Don't beat yourself up for having a cry and a yell. Really, really, it's okay. It's really okay. You're human. And I feel for you and I hear you and I believe you. How hard it is. I absolutely know how hard it is. So, I give those 5 or 6 tools to help you before a conversation, basically. Okay.